From insanely dedicated obstacle collectors to straight up hacked accounts, here are some of Clash of Clans' most insane bases. This player not only has the most obstacles I've ever seen, but every single one is a special obstacle from some event in Clash of Clans history. Not only that, but they're organized in such a satisfying way. Life must be so much easier for this player now that the shovel of obstacles makes the obstacles permanently movable, but even so, this guy must have spent hundreds of dollars on shovels to be able to make all of these obstacles movable. Now that's dedication if I've ever seen it. Speaking of event obstacles, this player is one of only a handful in the whole world that have every single Christmas tree since the original in 2012 when the game was released. If you haven't seen all of these in one place before, just take a moment to soak in how beautiful it is. This graph shows how many people have each Christmas tree in the game, and as you can see, they get way less rare as the years go on. That being said, the original Christmas tree is still only had by around 2,600 people in the entire game, so the odds of someone having all of them is even more unlikely than that. This picture is a couple of years outdated at this point, but I think it's safe to say that this player won't be missing out on any trees moving forward since he's already made it this far. If there's one thing that all of us Clash of Clans players have in common, it's that we all attack other players in the game. Well, apparently not all of us, as this player is a well upgraded Town Hall 16 despite never having attacked a single time on his account. We can see this by looking at his profile and seeing that he's never collected any loot from battle. Well, how is he upgrading his base then? Well, this player has remained dedicated over many years, collecting his collectors every day and using that loot to upgrade his defenses and other buildings. I think we can all agree that his progress is quite impressive considering he's never attacked a single time, and not only that, but he's actually made it to the Legends League before with only defenses. This maze style layout looks pretty cool, but you'll probably be surprised at the reason this player is using the layout. As you know, defending heroes can jump over walls, but not many people know that they will actually only do this if they have to. This player took advantage of this mechanic by placing his heroes into the middle of the maze so that when they walk around, they'll be forced to navigate the maze rather than just walking around randomly. While this doesn't have any real use in game, it's definitely something fun to mess around with while you wait for those upgrades to finish, so I can't really blame this guy for doing it. Speaking of upgrades, this player somehow managed to avoid doing almost any at all. As you can see, this player has somehow made it all the way to Town Hall 11 without building a single defense, not even walls. The one defense he does have is the cannon that you're forced to build in the tutorial, and he's making the most out of it by having it at max level for his Town Hall and also gearing it up so it can be a double cannon. Hey, if you're only gonna have one defense, it only makes sense. Speaking of missing things, this next base is even more cursed in a way. This player somehow managed to completely get rid of his Town Hall. Yeah, not only is it missing from the obvious spot where it should be placed in this layout, but if you look around the rest of the map, you'll realize that he doesn't actually have one at all. While it's easy to say that this guy must just be hacking, there was a brief time when the game first came out that it was actually possible to sell your buildings after buying them. For whatever reason, for an even more brief period of time, it was actually possible to sell your Town Hall as well. Not many people did this though for obvious reasons, and this player ended up getting banned for taking advantage of this glitch. Continuing the trend of having things that you shouldn't have, this player has a fully rebuilt clan castle while only being a Town Hall 2. While the clan castle is technically able to be rebuilt at any point in the game, it isn't possible to hold enough gold to do the rebuild until you upgrade your Town Hall to at least level 3. Some of you guys might remember though that you can actually overfill your storages if you buy gold with real money in the shop. There usually aren't gold offers in the game for players of a Town Hall 2, but there have been a few over the years, especially during Hammer Jam events, and players have taken advantage of that to buy extra gold and get a clan castle at only Town Hall 2. This allows players to do other cursed things in the game, such as joining a clan war or receiving troop donations as a Town Hall 2. This player is the highest level player in all of Clash of Clans. As you can guess, his base is pretty much completely maxed out, including his builder base, heroes, troops, spells, hero pets, and more. Not only that though, but this player has completed almost every single achievement in the game and has donated well over 12 million troops over the years to continue gaining a ton of XP. I've seen other players max out both bases and still end up at only level 200 or so this player is beyond dedicated to keeping that title. That being said, it probably couldn't hurt for this guy to go outside and touch some grass every once in a while. Anyone who's played the game for more than about 5 minutes or so has almost definitely seen a wall or two in their base glitch out and stop connecting properly to the walls around it. I know I've had this happen countless times, and luckily fixing it is usually quite easy, as all you have to do is simply move the wall and then move it back most of the time. But have you ever seen this many glitched walls at one time? This player had this happen to him one time while switching between bases, and it seems that it was likely some kind of bug where the walls thought they were in the previous base and were orienting themselves as such, but either way it's still pretty crazy to see. Have you ever wondered if the builders ever slack off when nobody's watching, like when you log off for the night? Well, this player seems to have caught his builders in the act. As you can clearly see at the top of his screen, all 5 of this player's builders are currently assigned to upgrades, but we can see that this builder hut towards the bottom actually has Z's coming out the top, indicating that the builder who lives in the hut is sleeping on the job. I've never seen anything like this myself, but hey, now you know to keep a close eye out on those builders and make sure they're still working. The scatter shot is a powerful defense that can do many things, but hitting invisible troops isn't supposed to be one of them. Well, at least not for most of us. This player seems to have either added this functionality to his scatter shots or have been blessed by the Clash of Clans gods, because as you can see, the attacker's super archers are in the middle of an an active invisibility spell, but the scatter shot still turns around and instantly takes them out. It isn't exactly clear what's going on with this guy's base, but it's safe to say that it's shady at best. This next player at first appears to be a normal Town Hall 9 with decent building levels, albeit a bit rushed. On opening your eyes, you might notice that this player hasn't built a single wall. I mean, come on man, they only cost 50 gold. Just one attack with all goblins and you could at least build them all and honestly probably upgrade them a few times. Forget not knowing how these players do these things, I'm starting to just wonder why at this point. This player somehow managed to stack his cannon in the same space as his level 2 elixir storage. As you can see, this resulted in the two textures merging into one singular building. This player had better watch his back though, as this particular combination looks a bit disturbing if you know what I'm getting at. I'd still like to know how the heck these players are doing these things though. This player decided to arrange their walls to draw out this picture of a man on the toilet. While this is funny and all and I can't appreciate the work that went into it, this player better watch his back as well, as Supercell will definitely ban you if they think your base design is inappropriate. At least this guy's sticking to toilets though and not going too far, as I've definitely seen my fair share of bannable base layouts over the years that were far more disturbing. If you ever tell a friend about Clash of Clans and they agree to give it a shot, it's usually common courtesy to explain a few basics so they don't embarrass themselves. Well, it looks like this player didn't get the classic beginner's advice and ended up building his base in the corner of the map, thinking that the edge of the map counts as a wall. Not gonna lie, when I first started playing the game in 2012, I thought the same thing, but at the end of the day, this guy's probably gonna have to learn the hard way like a lot of us had to back then. Speaking of the OG days, this player has managed to hold on to one of the rarest Clash of Clans decorations of all time. You may think having a stone is not that rare, since most people who want to keep stones just hold on to a couple when starting a new account, since they don't grow back after being removed. This isn't just any stone though, as a stone like this was only able to appear for the first few weeks after the game was released, and once those few weeks were over, nobody else could see the obstacle appear in their base anymore. So if you're ever out attacking and you see someone with this stone, just know you're dealing with an OG player and they probably know a thing or two about the game. This player has one of the craziest bases I've ever seen. It may take you a second to notice what's wrong with the base at first, but once you realize that this player is only at Town Hall 12, those alarm bells might just start going off in your head. That's right, this player somehow managed to get scatter shots at Town Hall 12 when those are only unlockable at Town Hall 13. Not only that, but several of his building levels are also higher than he could possibly upgrade them to at Town Hall 12. That's not all though, as this very same player actually has some more tricks up his sleeve, since if you click over to his builder base, you'll see that he actually has 2 builder halls. Not only that, but a bunch of his other buildings are also duplicated. If this guy doesn't deserve to be banned, I don't know who does. This player found out a way that you could switch out your base layouts while trying to remove a gem box in just the right way that it would cause other players to see the box disappearing each time they visited your base. This looks pretty cool and almost looks like the gem box is going into stealth mode or being hidden in some way. Even though the visual behind this glitch is cool, this is a lot of effort to go through to hide a gem box since people can't even steal gems from it anyway. Okay, so remember when I said that this stone was the rarest obstacle you could have in game? Well, I lied, because this player actually has the real rarest obstacle. This obstacle is the goblin pole, which, similar to the original stones, was available for a very short time very soon after the game's release. Supercell, for whatever reason, decided they didn't like this obstacle and ended up removing them from everyone's base who had one, but somehow this guy managed to slip through the cracks and keep his goblin poles, making him one of the only players to still have one. For a short time in Clash of Clans, there was a glitch with the magic shovel that allowed you to move normal buildings around instead of just obstacles. Since the shovel was meant for obstacles, this included the map borders where you couldn't place normal buildings. This player managed to take advantage of this glitch at just the right time and placed his Inferno Tower outside the buildable area. I'm not sure there's any practical use or advantage for doing this, but hey, it sure does look cool. This player, as the name implies, is obsessed with goblins. He's so obsessed, in fact, that he's dedicated his life to proving his love for the goblins since he stopped upgrading his barracks at level 4 upon unlocking them. This shouldn't be possible at this guy's Town Hall level though, so I'm not exactly sure how this guy was able to pull this off, but the rest of his base and the other stuff in his lab are actually upgraded pretty heavily, even though he's very limited on which troops he can use to attack with. This player is the most obvious hacker Clash of Clans has ever seen. Right off the bat, if we look in this guy's clan castle, we can see that he has 40 housing space worth of troops, including a golem, even though his capacity is only for 25 troops. Not only that, but some YouTubers were able to join his clan back in the day and attack him, to which they saw skeletons, the golem, and straight up lava pups coming out of the defending clan castle. This made the situation even more confusing, and this player most likely used some type of software to edit the code for the clan castle, resulting in him getting banned for cheating. I'm sure we've all seen a player or two take advantage of this visual glitch at some point, where you can make a building appear as if it's outside of the map. This glitch is purely visual and doesn't actually cause the building to be placed outside of the buildable area. The same can't be said about this player though, since he was able to successfully move one of his gold mines into the forest on the right side of the base. We know this one's real because visiting the player before he got banned allowed us to interact with the gold mine, not just see it. Like many others on this list, this player eventually ended up getting banned for cheating. When any player goes to the builder base for the first time after repairing the boat, they're greeted by an old barbarian statue. This statue can actually be removed, and if you do remove it, it can be repurchased later for gems in the shop. That being said, the statue causes tall grass to grow in squares around it. You can also remove the tall grass itself tile by tile, so players ended up using shovels of obstacles to move the statue around, filling the map with grass, and then removing some of it to spell out words or make patterns. As I'm sure you can guess by now, many players use this for good, while some ended up using it for evil and making inappropriate base designs and spelling out weird things with words, and those players unsurprisingly ended up getting banned. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing to help us reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year.